Welcome students. Today I am here with the topic Objectives, Phases, Problems, Criteria for Assessment or Evaluation of Entrepreneurship Development Programs. Do you know, entrepreneurs are not just born. They can be developed and trained to undertake ventures and be creative also. However, everybody does not have the potential to become an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurial development is essentially an educational process and an endeavor in human resource development. However, entrepreneurship cannot grow in vacuum. It requires an environment in which an entrepreneur can learn and discharge his functions. Joseph E. Stamping identifies intelligence, motivation, knowledge, and opportunity as the prerequisites for entrepreneurial development. First of all, the entrepreneurs must be endowed with above average intelligence. Motivation is not inherited but a personal and cultural trait. Knowledge can be acquired through formal education and experience. Now, entrepreneurs can overcome many obstacles to develop, and if given sufficient time, they can create opportunity. It is very difficult to measure quantitatively the ability to use knowledge intelligently, to seize opportunity, and to inject the spark of innovation and creativity. Now, let us try to comprehend the concept of entrepreneurial development. Development of entrepreneurship incorporates four basic issues. First one is the availability of material resources. The second one is the selection of real entrepreneurs. The third one is the formation of industrial units. And the fourth one is policy formulation for the development of the region. All these issues are closely interrelated. Given the resources, the entrepreneurs expect to exploit them. The focal issue that remains is that of the type of the individual unit, particularly because it affects the proper utilization of raw material and marketing of the product. An interaction of the first two variables and the groundwork created by the third one depends on the specific policies which constantly supervise the direction of the process of economic development of the region. Development of entrepreneur means inculcating entrepreneurial traits into a person, imparting the required knowledge, developing the technical, financial, marketing, and managerial skills, and building the entrepreneurial attitude also. The process of entrepreneurial development involves equipping a person with the information used for enterprise building and sharpening his entrepreneurial skills. Entrepreneurial development is an organized and systematic development. It is now regarded as a tool of industrialization and a solution to unemployment problem. The objective of entrepreneurial development is to motivate a person for entrepreneurial career and to make him capable of perceiving and exploiting successfully opportunities for enterprises. One trained entrepreneur can guide others on how to start their own enterprise and approach various institutions. In fact, trained entrepreneurs become catalysts of developing industry and economic progress. Entrepreneurial development programs may be defined as a program designed to help an individual in strengthening his entrepreneurial motive and in acquiring skills and capabilities necessary for playing his entrepreneurial role effectively. It is necessary to promote this understanding of motives and their impact on entrepreneurial values and behaviors for this purpose. With the above concept in mind, let us try to know the need for entrepreneurship development programs. Entrepreneurial development program is an effective way to develop entrepreneurs, which can help accelerate the pace of socio-economic development, balance regional growth, exploitation of locally available resources. It can also create gainful self-employment. An entrepreneurship development program equips entrepreneurs and makes them competent to anticipate and deal with a variety of problems that any entrepreneur may have to face. It gives confidence to the entrepreneurs to face uncertainties and take profitable risks. It prepares them to deserve and make good use of various forms of assistance. Entrepreneurship development program can be beneficial in the following ways. First one is economic growth. The entrepreneurship development program is a tool of industrialization and path to economic growth. The trained entrepreneurs can initiate change in the structure of business and industry. It increases new investment and bring innovations. All these activities in turn stimulate economic growth. The entrepreneurial class speeds up the process of activating the factors of production to ensure higher rate of economic growth. Now, let us come to the second point, that is balanced regional development. Entrepreneurship development program helps in dispersal of economic activities in different regions by providing training and other support to local people. Entrepreneurship development program increases the number of small-scale entrepreneurs who acquire the capability to set up industrial enterprises in remote rural areas. This reduces the concentration of economic power. Now, the third point is eliminates poverty and unemployment. Increasing joblessness and unemployment is the chronic problem of most of the developing countries. Entrepreneurship development programs provide enormous opportunities for self-employment and entrepreneurial careers. These programs create jobs, incomes and capital in the country. This intend to eliminate the poverty and solve the problem of unemployment. This create job providers and not job seekers. The fourth point is optimum use of local resources. Abundant resources are available locally. If these are used in an optimum way, it will prepare a healthy base for sound economic and industrial development. The optimum use of natural, financial and human resources can be met in a country by training and educating the entrepreneurs. The fifth point is solves industrial problems. The big urban cities have become highly congested and industrial problematic towns. These have created industrial slums. Entrepreneurship development programs help in removal of industrial slums by relocating the industries. Entrepreneurship development programs help provide various incentives, subsidies and infrastructural facilities to the entrepreneurs to set up their own industrial units in all the regions. This can control the industrial units in all the region. This can control again the industrial slums and also reduce the problems of pollution, traffic congestion and overcrowding in cities. Now the sixth point is diffuses social tension. Every youth feels frustrated if he does not get employment after completing his education. The surplus young energies can be diverted to self-employment careers to help the country. This may diffuse social tension and unrest among youth. The seventh one is development of backward and tribal areas. Entrepreneurship Development Program ensures potential entrepreneurs to set up their enterprises in backward and tribal areas with help of government and institutional support system. For setting up industrial units in backward areas, the government has provided various incentives and facilities under entrepreneurship development programs. The eighth point is successful launching of new units. Entrepreneurship Development Program develops motivation, competency and skills necessary for successful launching, management and growth of enterprise. Now, the ninth point is improve standards of living. Entrepreneurship Development Program improves the standard of living of the weaker sections of society and involvement of all sections in the process of economic growth. The next point is fulfillment of dreams. Entrepreneurship Development Program is necessary to motivate the potential entrepreneurs to convert their dreams into action. Now, let us figure out the objectives of entrepreneurship development programs. The important objectives of entrepreneurship development programs are: number one, to develop and strengthen their entrepreneurial quality, that is, in another sense, motivation or need for achievement. Second one is to analyze environmental setup relating to small industry and small business. Third one is to select product. Fourth one, to formulate project for the product. The fifth one is understand the process and procedure involved in setting up a small enterprise. The sixth one is know the sources of help and support available for starting a small scale industry. The seventh one is acquire the necessary managerial skills required to run a small enterprise. The eighth one is know the pros and cons in becoming an entrepreneur. The ninth one is appreciate the needed entrepreneurial disciplines. Besides, some of the other important objectives of the entrepreneurship development programs are: number one, to let the entrepreneur himself or herself set or reset objectives for his or her business and strive for their realization. Number two, to prepare him or her to accept the uncertainty involved in running a business. Third one is to enable him or her to take decisions. The fourth one is to enable to communicate clearly and effectively. Fifth one is to develop a broad vision about the business. The sixth is to make him subscribe to industrial democracy. Seventh one is to develop passion for integrity and honesty. The eighth one is to make him learn compliance with law. Now, let us comprehend the various phases of entrepreneurship development programs. An entrepreneurship development program consists of the following three phases. First one is pre-training phase. The second one is training phase. The third one is post-training phase. And these are discussed now one by one. Pre-training phase. The activities and preparations required to launch the training program come under the phase. This phase accordingly includes the following points: selection of entrepreneurs, arrangement of infrastructure, tie-up of guest faculty for the training purposes, arrangement for inauguration of the program, selection of necessary tools, techniques to select the suitable entrepreneurs. Next is formation of selection committee for selecting trainees. Next is arrangement for publicity, media and campaigning for the program. And the next is development of application form, followed by finalization of training syllabus, and lastly pre-potential survey of opportunities available in the given environmental conditions. The second phase is the training phase. The main objective of this phase is to bring desirable change in the behavior of the trainees. In other words, the purpose of training is to develop need for achievement, that is, motivation among the trainees. Accordingly, a trainer should see the following changes in the behavior of the trainees. First one is he or she attitudinally tuned very much towards his or her purpose project idea. Second one is the trainee motivated to plunge into entrepreneurial career and bear risks involved in it. The third one is there any perceptible change in his entrepreneurial attitude, outlook, skill, role, etc. The fourth point is how should he or she behave like an entrepreneur. The next question is what kind of entrepreneurial trait the trainee lacks the most, and this is followed by next question, that is whether the trainee possesses the knowledge of technology, resources and other knowledge related to entrepreneurship. Now the next question is, does the trainee possess the required skill in selecting the viable project, mobilizing the required resources at the right time? Some of the questions mentioned above also answer the basic underlying assumption in designing a suitable training program for the potential entrepreneurs. Having trained the trainees, the trainers need to ask themselves as to how much and how far the trainees have moved in their entrepreneurial pursuits. Now, let us try to understand the third phase, that is post-training phase. The ultimate objective of the Entrepreneurship Development Program is to prepare the participants to start their enterprises. This phase, therefore, involves assessment to judge how far the objectives of the programs have been achieved. This is called follow-up. Follow-up indicates our past performance drawbacks, if any, in our past works and suggests guidelines for framing future policies to improve our performance. In a nutshell, the purpose behind the Entrepreneurship Development Program follow-up is to, number one, review the pre-training work. Number two, review the process of training program. And number three, review post-training approach. Now, let us limelight the problems faced by entrepreneurship development programs. Entrepreneurship development programs suffer on many counts. The problems and the lacuna are on the part of all those who are involved in the process, be it the trainers and the trainees. The entrepreneurship development organizations the supporting organizations, and the state governments. The important problems faced by entrepreneurship development programs are discussed as follows. First one is, trainer motivations are not found up to the mark in motivating the trainees to start their own enterprises. Second one is, entrepreneurship development organizations lack in commitment and sincerity in conducting the entrepreneurship development programs. In some cases, entrepreneurship development programs are used as a means to generate surplus, that is income, for entrepreneurship development organizations. The third one is, non-conducive environment and constraints make the trainer motivator's role ineffectively. The fourth point is, the antithetic attitude of supporting agencies like banks and financial institutes serve as a stumbling block in the success of entrepreneurship development programs also. Now the next point is, selection of wrong trainees also leads to low success rate of entrepreneurship development programs. Thus, it is clear that the problem are not with the strategy but with its implementation. One way of evaluating the entrepreneurship development program is to assess their effectiveness in developing need for achievement among the entrepreneurs. This is called the qualitative evaluation of entrepreneurship development programs. Let us understand the criteria for assessment or evaluation of entrepreneurship development programs. Following criteria are being used by the behavioral scientists to assess the effectiveness of entrepreneurship development programs in the country. First one is activity level of the respondents. Second one, new enterprise creation. Third one, employment generation in quantifiable terms. Fourth one, creation of job opportunities both directly and indirectly. Fifth one is investment in fixed assets made. The sixth one, increase in sales and profit. 7.1, enterprise expansion. Number 8, enterprise transformation. Number 9, improvement in quality of products or services. Number 10 is repayment of loans. To conclude with, I hereby stress that developing entrepreneurship has become a movement in India in the recent years. Entrepreneurship development programs have been considered as an effective instrument for developing entrepreneurship in the countryside. Hundreds of entrepreneurship development programs are conducted by more than 680 organizations to impart entrepreneurial training to participants in thousands. As mentioned earlier, the main objective of entrepreneurship development programs is to help to be enterprise creator. Hence, it seems necessary to see whether the objective of entrepreneurship development programs is fulfilled or not. In simple words, there is a need to have a retrospective look into how many participants have actually started their own enterprises after completing the training. Thank you so much.